Okay, let us discuss this problem. So this is related to finding the percentage of different metal in a given alloy. So we have named the problem is composition of alloy. So you can copy this one. Now this problem says I have a sample of alloy and the weight of the alloy is 8.72 gram. So initial weight of alloy, that is 8.72 gram. And question also says this alloy contains aluminium, magnesium and copper. So this alloy contains three metals, aluminium, magnesium and copper. My target is to find percentage of aluminium, percentage of magnesium and percentage of copper in this given alloy. What we are doing is, first thing, we have dissolved this alloy in NaOH. So this alloy has been put into a solution of NaOH. So some part of this alloy gets dissolved into the NaOH. Rest part that we call as a residue that does not dissolve, it is found that if I take weight of that residue, it comes out to be 2.10 gram. So the weight of residue, that is 2.10 gram after the reaction of NaOH. So some part has already gets dissolved into NaOH. Left part, that is a solid part, if I dry those parts and take weight, then the weight comes out to be 2.10 gram. Now the same residue further treated with the dilute acid. Now the residue that was solid, now we are treating this residue with HCl. Now this time some part of this gets dissolved in HCl, and again I have some residue that does not dissolve in HCl. And now this HCl is basically a dilute HCl. This is not very concentrated HCl. And the residue of the weight comes out to be 0.69 gram. So you see some of the metal gets dissolved in HCl also, and that comes out to be 0.69 gram. So let me give you once again. In first reaction some of the metal gets dissolved. In the second reaction some different metal gets dissolved, and that's why you have some different. So in the last we have one metal that does not get dissolved. So you know the weight of one metal exactly, that is 0.69 gram. Now if you subtract this weight from this one, you will get the weight of another metal. If you subtract this weight from this one, you will get the another metal. Now only thing is you have to know which metal gets dissolved here and which metal gets dissolved here, and that is the only point we have in this question. So let us think yourself which metal will dissolve in NaOH and which metal will dissolve in dilute HCl, and then you can give the answer. I will wait for 1 minute. Okay, let us discuss. So if I dissolve NaOH, aluminium in NaOH gets dissolved. So in these three metals, aluminium reacts with NaOH and it forms sodium meta-aluminate NaAlO2. So aluminium gets dissolved. So reaction is this: aluminium reacts with NaOH and it forms hydrogen gas. This gas will get liberated. So aluminium gets dissolved, so I will only have magnesium and copper as only residue. So this means this weight, that is 2.10 gram, this is the weight of magnesium plus copper. Are you getting? Now let us say I will form three equations. So let us say weight of aluminium initially was A gram, weight of magnesium was B gram, weight of copper was C gram. So I will have total weight A plus B plus C, that is given initially, that is 8.72 gram. So I can write one equation, A plus B plus C, this is equals to 8.72 gram. Now I will also have aluminium gets dissolved. This means I will have weight of magnesium plus copper, that is B plus C, that should be equals to weight of residue, and the weight of residue is 2.10 gram. So B plus C is 2.10 gram. Now if you react with dilute HCl, this time magnesium will get dissolved. So magnesium reacts with even dilute HCl and it will form MgCl2 plus H2. Copper will not dissolve in dilute HCl. If you have concentrated HCl, in that case copper can also dissolve, But if you have a dilute HCl, only magnesium will dissolve because magnesium is more reactive than copper. So you see, the finally copper will remain in the solution. So weight of residue, the final weight is weight of the copper. So this is the final. So final residue. And what is the weight of final residue? You see here. So final residue weight is, here you have this one, 0.69 gram. So the final residue, that is weight of copper, and that I have said copper is C gram. So weight of copper will be C, and C is basically equals to 0.69 gram. Now you have three equations you can solve, and if you solve these equations, you will find aluminum 25.9%, magnesium 16.2%, and copper 7.9%. You find yourself whether you get the same answer or not. So I am waiting for your answer. So this is a one way to find percentage of different metal in a given alloy, that is first dissolve in acidic basic solution and then you dissolve in acidic solution. Correspondingly you can change your reagent, because in this case I have only three elements: magnesium, aluminum and copper. Aluminum gets dissolved in basic solution, magnesium gets dissolved in acidic solution, copper does not get dissolved in very dilute solution of HCl. And that's why we can separate magnesium, copper and aluminum. If we have different element in the given alloy, we can change my reagents and we can do different reaction to find the percentage of alloy. We'll discuss the next problem. This is a quite good problem.